Now, one final matter. Later today, I'll be meeting with members of an industry with deep roots in my home state of Kentucky, our bourbon and spirits distillers. Judging by recent headlines, we'll have plenty of good news to discuss. After 8 years of Democrat policies enriching big cities and leaving small businesses behind, Republican policies are helping workers and job creators thrive all across our country. From Louisville to Kansas City to Portland, our growing craft distilling industry is a perfect example. They're enjoying a pro-growth provision in the historic tax reform Republicans passed last year, which lowered excise taxes on beer, wine, and spirits, and modernized the regulatory policy affecting each. Interestingly enough, the Craft Beverage Modernization and Tax Reform Act even began as a bipartisan effort, with 56 co-sponsors here in the Senate, led by Senators Blunt, Wyden, and Portman. Of course, not a single Democrat showed up when it was time to vote on tax reform. But Republicans accomplished it anyway, and now the New York Times can publish stories about how the measure is making a big difference for small craft distillers. As one such report puts it, distilling is a burgeoning source of jobs, tax revenue, and tourism dollars in every state. For example, the Kentucky Distillers Association reported that just last year, the bourbon industry accounted for 17,500 jobs and over 1 million visitors to my home state. That's a big shift from the so-called Obama recovery, when almost all the limited jobs and investment poured into the biggest cities. But it's a new day. Now, Fuse Spirits in Illinois has hired more workers and is replacing its overseas glassmaker with an American one. J. Rigger and Company in Missouri has found extra room in the budget to expand its sales team and begin selling its products further across the country. In the Democratic leader's own backyard of Brooklyn, the New York Distilling Company recently cut the wholesale price on its signature gin by more than 50%. According to one of its co-founders, Alan Katz, the reaction from our industry peers has been jaw-dropping. And in Kentucky, which is the home to more than 50 distilleries, there are plenty of examples from which to choose. Thanks to lower excise tax, Casey Jones Distillery, a small operation in Hopkinsville, is growing its team, increasing production, and planning to enhance its event space. Copper & Kings in Louisville has been able to hire more workers and is preparing to expand its warehouse and add a new bar for guests. The Copper & Kings team recently shared with me that tax reform is, quote, one of the most important initiatives the Senate could pursue to help create jobs for small businesses in Kentucky. My Democratic colleagues failed to block tax reform last year, and now they want to just keep arguing about it. They even proposed to repeal it and roll back America's tax cuts. But entrepreneurs across the country are loving our new 21st century tax code. They're using it to expand operations and to create jobs. It's hard to argue with the results. Not that that stopped our Democratic friends from trying. And I'm sure they'll continue to try, but Republicans will stay focused on taking steps like these and raising a glass to America's small businesses.